There's one question I receive every day. It's Uncle Bearheart. How do I become a magician? It's good. It's a fair answer to a fair question. You have to do what magicians do, and that's magic. So, my advice, I'm going to lay out a step-by-step plan for you because I want other magicians doing magical work. That's not too much to ask. Bolster my house, maybe start their own one day. I'm going to talk a little bit more about me and where I came from. My mentor was born in Cuba, raised in traditions like 21 Division Santeria, Palo. Went over from Cuba to South America. Became involved in Quimbanda. From Quimbanda and South America to Haiti. Haiti, he became a Hunganasogwe, which is a voodoo priest of the highest order. Highest order. And joined a number of secret societies over there, one of which is where my tradition actually flows through, and because of his experiences, they flow right to me too. So the house that I inherited, it's got a lot of magic. Man, it's got a lot of spirits. It's got a lot of traditions. And most of them are very peaceful, but there's a whole undercurrent there, whole Marsarian red energy that mostly what this order, particularly the G.O.O.D.S order, happens to deal with. Very aggressive, very strong. In my earlier years, so I've been doing this for at least 20 plus, 14 on to about 18, there was no internet. You couldn't type in the Lesser Keys of Solomon. Didn't exist. In fact, I knew people who couldn't find the Lesser Keys of Solomon anywhere. I mean, it was still relatively hidden, unless a couple cult shops here and there. But it wasn't like today. I mean, you had to sweat for that shit. You had to fucking earn the right to be called a magician. So me not really having any other options, or really even knowing about any other options, I found myself under a sometimes very stern tutelage. One of it, which is the one I'm going to recommend to you, is starting whenever you can. Starting with the spirit Baal. Summon every single one of the spirits of the Goetia, all 72, in a year's time. Now, furthermore on my training, because there wasn't any internet, because I couldn't get a PDF file or any of that, my mentor forced me, he gave me just a sigil and a name. I had no idea what the spirit was about. I had to summon that spirit, question that spirit, gather information about that spirit, write it all down, and then I could go back to my mentor and compare notes. Okay? When that happened, I could compare the information, the Goetia, to the information that I summoned from the spirit, that I garnered from the spirit. In the beginning, hit and miss. Okay? But 4 months, 5 months into it, when I had spirits partially manifesting in front of me and giving me very accurate information, not only information about them, but information about my life and the people around me, you lose your shit over some of the information I got. Then that's when the training really started to make sense. I had summoned all 72 spirits of the Goetia in a year's time. And a large body of that work was just dead on accurate. So that's what I'm going to tell to you. I want you, for the next year, to spend all of it, all your free time, if available, summoning the 72 spirits of the Goetia. That's how you become a magician. There's no magic wand I can wave over you. I can't blow cigar smoke over you and make you a magician. Okay? I mean, shudder at a world where that's possible. But if you were really serious, if you're serious, no fucking around, no, I'm kind of interested in the occult, I want to dabble a little bit, I feel like I should, have a spooky experience, then don't fucking waste your time. Don't waste my time. Don't waste the spirit's time. But if you're serious about being a magician, then you have to do what magicians do. It's bloody fucking... It's so fucking clear that it's almost offensive when other people don't understand that. How do you not understand that a magician does magic? Magic isn't this new age bullshit. It isn't light and fairies and unicorns and fucking third dimensional, fourth dimensional, fifth dimensional. Who the fuck cares? It doesn't get you anywhere, obviously. The state of the light work is so, it's infantile. It's absolutely infantile. It's silly. It's kindergarten at its most base level because they don't do any work. They don't do any actual real occultic work. They don't work the principles of magic. They don't understand the mysteries of the astral plane. They don't immerse themselves into a world where they actually directly contact with spirits. They don't do none of this. I don't know what they do. I've heard them speak, but listening to them talk, I still don't necessarily understand what they mean. And I know that they don't know what they mean per se. It's just sort of regurgitated, rehashed nonsense that like literally, it's like infernal excrement just pouring out of their mouths. Whom they are channeling it from, I have my suspicions, but it's no one worth listening to. Believe me. Believe me. The proof is in the results. The proof's in the results. It's so basic. Bless, curse, or shut the fuck up. At this point, you failed. You failed, and you failed miserably. The whole 2012 was the biggest fucking bitch slap to your fucking faces. Pleiadians, Arcturians, fourth dimensional bullshit. For shame. Shame on you. Shame on you people for bringing that nonsense and getting it into the heads of people who wanted to do good. Shame on you. Fuck you. Fuck you for doing that. So, if you're going to do the 72 Goetia summoning, my advice is not to look at the description of the spirit. Get the sigil and get its name. That's it. Don't read about them. Don't prep your experience. Don't foreshadow what's about to happen, because you want to make sure that over time you develop the clairaudience and the clairvoyance. Okay? Magic eye and magic ears. Okay? You want to make sure you're doing that. You want to make sure you're actually dealing with the astral realm. You want to make sure you're dealing with real spirits and not just strange thought forms, because that's the other problem. Most ceremonial magicians believe that spirits are just some sort of intellectual masturbatory exercise where they can conjure up thought forms and ignore them when they're a little too spooky. Pure, unadulterated Aleister Crowley bullshit is what that is. Fucking bullshit. Done. Cubed, frozen, and squared, and served. Bullshit. The spirits are very real. They have personalities. They have agendas, wants, and desires. And they will let those be known to you. But to pretend that it's just all in your head, that means you can't get out of your own head. That means there's no reason for you to even do magic. It's fucking make-believe. You might as well just run around in your backyard and play house and fucking get a hobby horse and jump around on it, because that's how fucking ridiculous you sound. These spirits are real. I want you to begin to have connection with those. If you're going to be a magician, if I can begin to talk to you on a level that I truly want to start talking to people about magic, you have to go through a process like this. It's going to suck. It's going to be hard. You'd rather not. My advice to you is wait till midnight. Honestly, between midnight and 3:33 a.m. in the morning is the best fucking time to actually do any sort of evocations. Yeah, it's going to be spooky. Yeah, you are going to be dealing with an entity that is outside your realm of experience. Yes, you're probably not going to have any experiences that even remotely prepare you for what's going to happen when you actually see something partially manifest in front of you. Don't be a fucking pussy. That's rule one. Don't be a fucking pussy. 2, believe in yourself. Because if you're going to be a magician and you can evoke, then you have the power to banish. So, if you can evoke, you can banish. Say it with me one more time. If I can evoke, I can banish. All right? Write that down on a chalkboard like 190 fucking times. Then it might sink in. Then it might sink in. Because if you can evoke, you can what? Banish. You can banish. So what is banishing me? Well, we just did a video about that. That means that you use the physical earth and the domination over the supernatural that entails, and you send the spirit back. That's it. If you are going to evoke, you're going to draw the spirit to your presence and then banish it away. It's surprising. Most people just don't even fucking get that. How can you call yourself a magician and not know that? Boggles my fucking mind. You're not magicians. You got no fucking business calling yourself that. How many magicians don't even do magic? They just armchair fucking theory it. Oh, ridiculous. Oh, so fucking ridiculous. That's just... That's... almost worse. Almost worse than light workers. Because they actually think they're doing something. What it is, I don't know. But, even 5-year-olds throwing spaghetti at a wall do something. That's what they're doing. But it's something other than just sort of like intellectualizing it. That's ridiculous. No. So, 72 spirits. Keep a journal. Write down the name. Write down the sigil. Question the spirits. Introduce yourself. I'm so-and-so. Follower of the Most High. Prime Creator. I am here on its authority. These spirits aren't demons. Nonsensical, Christianized bullshit about demons. bullshit about any ceremonial magic or magician that would relate to them as demons. Infernal? What does that even mean? You've been conditioned to think you know what it means, but you don't know what it means. Infernal. Lower vibration. Fuck, I tirade about that a couple days ago. Lower vibration. This means they're closer to the earth. This means actually, in some ways, they're even more fucking helpful than just high-level beings. They're really up there. Some of them. Good or not. Some of them are just fucking wavy, spacey. They don't necessarily have time. Or even, because there's no sense of time. So you contacting these high, lofty ideals, yes, please do, but understand that they see things in terms of centuries. Things set into motion that they can wait around for. Your mortal coil, no, that's going to expire long, long before those come into fruition. Some of the lower spirits, some of the spirits on the lower astral, the lower vibrations, they understand that an hour is an hour, a day is a day, and a week's a week. They know these things. They understand your needs. They understand, whatever. They understand pain. They understand suffering. They understand misery. They understand debauchery. They know these things. The higher spirits, they care, but some of them are just really removed because they haven't experienced it. The lower spirits, they're here to watch it. Some of them, of course, yes, some of them feed on it. Understand me that there are some truly evil entities, truly evil intelligences out there, but not all of them. And in fact, I mean, you're talking about a reflectional world. If you're talking about the astral world, and that the astral world manifests into the spiritual world, why the fuck aren't other magicians talking about this? If the astral world manifests into the physical world, okay, mind you, you know that, then wouldn't it also make sense that most of the spirits also are direct reflections of the population of this planet? So that would mean the majority of them aren't necessarily life-eating vampires. Now, some are. Most aren't. Most aren't at all. Because if the case was, who would summon them? That's the thing. That was the whole demonization campaign was, well, they're evil, so don't summon them, right? Yeah. Well, Christianity 101, all right? The biggest false flag in spiritual history, all right? That was, bar none, the religious 9/11 of all humanity. Right there. Christendom. Fuck. Oh, jeez. You talk about one psyop fucking mindfuck control program. There you go. Those motherfuckers dug the pit of hell themselves and then dangle you over it until you beg and plead, oh, I love you, Jesus, I love you, Jesus. And he throws you off to like the planet of the plebes so you can just beg at his feet, oh, I love you, I love you. Wait for him to come back and do nothing. That says a lot about a person who's going to embrace that spiritual path. Wow. Deep down in their hearts, they're pussies. Pussies. Because it's easier to be a martyr than actually live for something. Death is easy. You can die for anything. Living for something, being a magician for 20 plus years, living that path, now, I am no stranger to death threats. I am no stranger to weird 3, 4 a.m. visitations by multiple things, non-human, human, incarnate, you name it. Christians, what? What do they got? Nothing. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Nothing. You want to be a magician? You better start acting. You better start doing what magicians do. Get yourself the Goetia. You get to have the PDF format. Oh, exciting. I didn't get that. I have loose leaf. I have all these written papers. It's not a comparison thing, but I'm just saying where it came from. Okay? Now, I will be releasing the entire G.O.O.D.S grimoire. I am no longer willing to hold on to this information, just me. It haunts me like you wouldn't believe because I have to release it before I myself can move higher in it. I'm already moving higher, but I'm leaving a whole bunch of stuff behind. Stuff that I use, but my understanding of it has gone way up. But I also need to give it to people, because I'm going to start using a language way in talking about magic that is going to lose everybody, for most part. There are going to some of you that are totally going to get it, but I need to release that information. I need other people to start practicing it. I need other people to start benefiting from it. That's probably not going to be for another 6-7 months. I have another writing project that I'm working on now. I'm releasing a whole tradition of Wicca. Now, don't get on my fucking case about all Wicca. It's, you know, all fucking goddess worship and a bunch of ugly giant lesbos. I mean, well, it is. G.O.O.D.S, you hairy fucking hag. But, wouldn't touch her with a fucking 10-foot pole and a dead convict's dick. But there is a whole tradition there. Now, understand, I went through a 9-day initiation process to become a high priest, right? And that involved hunting down my own stag, killing it, skinning it, taking its own horns from my crown, earning my sword in a way that I don't think is legally... I don't know if I could ever put anyone through it. I was broken, bloody, bruised, seriously injured in the process. But that was the fucking point. That was the fucking point, to make it hurt. To make it hurt. To make me earn it. So that I don't forget. In the face of adversity, I don't forget who I am. I'm motherfucking Bearheart. I don't forget that. In the face of adversity. In the face of just everyday humanity, I'm just a guy who cares. But no, I don't forget. People who step up at me find out very, 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 very fucking quickly that I don't forget who I am. There's been a lot of rude awakenings when they realize, oh, fuck. Not only is he aggressive, not only is he magically powerful, but these hands twist fucking steel bars. These hands twist horseshoes. These hands spend a lot of time bending things that don't want to be bent. That's part of the magical thinking too, is when your physical body can do things that others just simply marvel at. And when you think about astrally, physically, mentally, spiritually, if you could tie all those things together, you got a formidable magician. That's the magician in my order. That's the magician that I want to bring out in all of you if you've got the intestinal and testicular and ovarian fortitude to follow this fierce path. Now back to the Wicca. That Wicca is based on those principles. This is a sorceress path. This is not the love and light and like just kind of call quarters and hollow fucking speeches. No. Oh no. No. This was much more akin to the true European witchcraft. True European witchcraft. Mind you, that migrated out of Europe with the Italians, with the Gypsies, with the Spaniards, and settled all across areas of North and South America. Now, when Gardner was dreaming up Wicca, and he got a lot of it right, got a lot of shit wrong, but he got a lot of shit right, and then decided to hook up with Crowley as sort of like the last corrupting influence of it, and then sort of unleashed it. There were some groups that really got it right and held on to it and were able, because the spirits of Wicca, those powerful European spirits that followed that current through, that never truly died, just went underground, they made sure that the certain people, those groups, found them. My tradition is one of them. So I'm releasing that. But that comes first. I will release that, then I release the grimoire. And it's going to fly in the face that most ceremonial magicians understand. They're going to be where the fuck did this come from? Wow. Or they're going to steal it. Okay, but the nice thing about it is that it's so intertwined with my tradition, you're going to be able to tell. You're like, you got that from Bearheart. Thanks for ripping him off. But at least give him credit. Credit where credit's due, you know. So that's going to happen. But 72 spirit, Goetia, start evoking, start with ball. If you don't know how to invoke, maybe I should do a video on evoking evocation. Okay, I've used the wrong word because I invoke and I evoke. Evocation, I want you to begin evoking, okay? Evoking spirits. If you're very uncomfortable with the idea of manifesting a spirit in your presence, as is you would like some sort of barrier between you and it, evoking to the astral plane might be better because you're going to deal with a scrying mirror. If you don't have a scrying mirror, if you don't have anything you feel like you want to scry out of, you're going to have to evoke to the physical plane. Either way, you're still going to be talking to a spirit. Be cordial, but be firm in who you are. Introduce yourself. Again, these aren't vampires. They aren't demons. None of the such. But banish, 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 banish. Banish in the beginning. Clear the area. Make sure nothing decides to be tricky because they think you're new and you won't know the difference. And you're new and you won't know the difference. Evoke. Banish, 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 banish. Because even though those spirits leave, they are powerful. They have vibrations that soak and permeate an entire room. My younger years, I sometimes didn't always follow the protocol. So I would try to sleep in a room where a spirit had just been in, a strong one at that. You can't not dream about them. You can't not just wake up and every single thought has their visage in it, okay? You can't not do that. That's the other thing too. Write down what they look like. Now, in your evocation, tell them, be very clear. I want you to appear in a very pleasing shape. Now, they've heard that probably a billion fucking times, so they know more or less what a pleasing shape is, but still, be ready to see things that maybe you did not consider as imaginable. You will reimagine many things in this process because you will see things that you have not thought of, okay? They will appear to you in ways and formations. And if you don't know what they look like beforehand, write it down and then read the description of who they are and how they have appeared before. And you begin to get where you're pretty much right on. Oh, it's going to blow your fucking mind. Also, it's going to prove to you that you have within you the ability to be a magician. Yeah? It's a good place to start. Very, very, very good place to start. That's my recommendation. Get the PDF. Start evoking spirits. If you need help evoking spirits, send me a bunch of emails. If you don't know how to evoke spirits, I'll do a whole video on how to evoke a spirit. The whole protocol. But it's on you to let me know. All right? Fair enough. Get to fucking work.